Hi guys, welcome to Music Business Today, where we bring you the latest and greatest in music business news.
Yes, we do. Today we're actually going to be talking a little bit about a little break-in scare that Kid Rock had recently, Australian Idol and their future, and a little bit about YouTube and more about the industry in Nashville.
Sounds good.
Stick around.
Bandwidth for today's show is brought to you by SoftLayer.com. We love SoftLayer here at Talkapolis. They are the greatest hosting company ever. They make everything easy. Check out their website at SoftLayer.com. Thanks again for sponsoring the show.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Music Business Today. I am Hannah Renee.
And I am Kane Harrison. We are going to kick off with Kid Rock having a little bit of trouble. This is incredibly humorous, but Kid Rock, first and foremost, he was, there was a guy who had attempted to burgle his home just outside of Detroit, but the 43-year-old who is Kid Rock said, there's a little bit more to this. Kid Rock offered a $5,000 reward, which wasn't a whole lot of money, but it was funny how it all started to unfold from there, Hannah, which you're going to tell the guys about.
Well, okay, so apparently it was a man on crutches. First, he takes his white creeper van and rams it into the fence to break through the fence, as if there's not going to be cameras all over the place. It's Kid Rock's house. And then proceeds to get out and try to, walk in on crutches. What is this guy thinking? And I love this little interview that Kid Rock, he basically, I guess he wrote this letter talking about this guy saying, any help I can get, I'll pay you $5,000 if you can, give us a tip that leads to this guy's arrest. And then he went on to say, thank God I was not on the property at the time of this attempted break-in. I am an avid hunter and marksman, and I will not hesitate to shoot anyone who has myself or family in fear for our lives. I take the invasion of my personal space very seriously, regardless of who you are, and yes, I do profile people. I am currently profiling any balding white male on crutches driving a white creeper van.
Well, I think it's pretty funny because he also says in it that as he said he was looking for a white male, late 40s to early 50s, receding hairline, mustache and sideburns, and a smoker. He was describing himself. I mean, that is the description of Kid Rock, right? At the same time, just without the crutches. But there was some CCTV footage that they've posted up, and you can actually see this guy trying to hobble out of a van. It is a white creeper van, a serial killer van. You all know what that looks like. And hobbling up on crutches to break into a place. So,
what was he thinking?
What was he thinking?
First off, he's on crutches. You're not going to be able to get away if someone's home.
No idea. But
some people. Anyways, so what's going on with Australian Idol?
What is going on with Australian Idol? Yes, Australian Idol isn't coming back, and there is no great surprise to that. I'll have to be honest, because they tried. And it's such a small market, that's the thing. And we really haven't produced any, major crossover artists.
There's been a few good artists that have come up.
Brilliant artists that have come up, no doubt about it. But I think that what a lot of these shows are trying to do is obviously make money out of a big artist. And I think that Guy Sebastian was one of the artists way back in the day. Yeah. Incredible vocal range, really a soulful singer. But the interesting thing is that, especially in the crossover world, he kind of never found his place. It was kind of one album would be something, another album would be something else.
Yeah, I've heard some of his music that I love, and then other music I'm like, oh, this does not do him justice at all.
He came to Nashville and did a soul album, and it was absolutely brilliant, but then everyone in Australia kind of lost focus of him as a pop artist, and so album sales have gone down, and they haven't really... I tell you, one guy who has done incredibly well, but just is really playing the local pub scenes and stuff, is Shannon Knoll, and he comes from a place sort of in the outback of Australia. He was a pub singer to begin with, and Shannon was a great bloke, but he goes around and plays, a bunch of different shows. Mostly would make his money from live music and also trying to sell some merchandise and things like that. Will never ever break it as an international artist. None of these people have. Jessica Melboy was another Indigenous artist that won one year, and she actually did a duet with Flo Rida, so they tried to cross her over again, but it's just too far away and just hasn't worked out. So Channel 10 has dumped it, and I don't think that they're going to be too upset about it. But they had a bunch of seasons. I don't know how many seasons they had, but they had a lot of seasons.
Not as long as American Idol, of course.
Not as long as American Idol, but it did come
shortly
Not that long
thereafter.
after. I would say there would have to have been eight.
Well, that
eight
tends to
seasons or
happen. Like
something.
you have like America's Next Top Model,
Yeah.
then you have like Australia's Next Top Model.
Well, here you go
and
right here,
Britain's
7
Next
years.
Top
It says it was
Model.
Australian Idol was televised on Network 10 for 7 years. They had, like any, they had the ups and downs. They had people come in and out to judge,
Yeah.
all that sort of thing.
And there were rumors that it would be coming back this year, and then Network 10 has just said no, absolutely not. Not
But
happening.
one Australian who is doing incredibly well, as we know, is a judge on American Idol, is coming back.
Yes, Keith Urban.
He's coming back.
He's coming back to American Idol. He's officially said that.
I
so.
think that he's been really good on it, actually. I
Yeah,
think that
no,
it's
I
brought,
enjoy him.
I mean, I think the beautiful thing about the explosion of country music into a crossover world is like Blake Shelton being on The Voice.
Yeah.
So then he did so well, got a great personality, fantastic on TV, but still kind of like a down-home
You
guy.
have had like country music crossing over more, which has been kind of nice actually. I'm not honestly a huge country fan,
Yeah.
but it's been nice seeing it cross over.
Yeah, and I think that they're doing it well. I think that
Yeah.
they, especially in this realm, I mean, having done Australian Idol, like it's so difficult if you can't, take the criticism
Yeah.
because it is a TV show. So it's kind of nice
yeah.
to have someone like Keith or someone like Blake who tends to be a bit more nurturing and not have to be so pop star Nicki Minaj type that thinks that she needs to be a bitch just to be popular. So it's really frustrating
Yeah.
when you have a 16-year-old kid get up there and sing their heart out and then have
And then
someone...
they tear them apart.
They do, and I know it's all for TV, and they say, if you want to be in the industry,
Please.
this is what it's like. But I just don't think that should be the way.
But
so
why
I'm glad
does it
Keith's
have
back.
to be like that?
Well,
It doesn't have to be like that.
It doesn't.
at
It's
all.
just the perception of that's what it's like. And I imagine growing up like a Nicki Minaj, growing up through the hip hop industry, it's probably a lot different to coming up through the country industry. I know that there's a lot of business sense that's exactly the same, but it is incredibly bitchy because everyone wants to get to the top. So that's just what happens.
You just said bitchy.
You can say bitch. I can say bitch because I'm Australian. We swear all the time.
Australians are allowed to curse
Yeah, we
because
get away with
it's
it.
not offensive.
That's right. And
when
plus,
they
it'll
have the
take them
accent.
3 episodes to work out what I was saying anyway before we get the letters of complaint. But so it's great. Anyway, Keith Urban's back. Australian Idol is down and out. It's gone. But let's be honest.
American Idol is alive and strong.
Well, but there's so many of these shows right now. I actually was watching the other day that they've now swapped that format over to MMA. They're doing the same thing. It's like The Voice, where they have a fight and then they pick, what coach they want to go with, and then they go off and they come back. I mean, so there's just these reality shows that
Are
are a
you
dime a dozen.
serious?
Yeah, it's called Bellator. I quite like it, to be honest, but. So these reality shows are going strong when they're branching off into a bunch of different things. They do it with cooking and that sort of stuff, as we know.
Yeah.
So
Well, anyways, YouTube, they're actually planning on broadening their subscription option to include royalty-free soundtracks for creators.
Well, we've talked about this as
Yeah.
well, and this is interesting to me because I own a business that is paid to create music for movies. And for people who don't know, just to give you a little background on this, what is called a sync license. So the instant that footage is synced with music, they become one entity. So because as you know, as an actor, you can have a fantastic performance, and if I bring something to it that I create,
Yeah.
we then take it to another place.
Yeah.
So we need each other to be fantastic, which we know anyway, Hannah, don't we?
Of course. I mean,
We do.
you're so
but
fantastic.
that is exactly what happens with movies, and that's why when you see an actor with a little tear and then you hear a violin, those things have to be joined. So it becomes one,
Yeah.
one creative piece. So what a lot of movie makers are doing with YouTube, even amateurs who don't even know that they're doing it, take footage of their kids or whatever running around on the soccer pitch, and then they'll go, I'm just going to put my favourite song over the top of that, and it's going to be wonderful and fantastic. And then you'll see sometimes you get a little note come up with a cross or something that says you can't use this because you've breached publishing or broadcasting rules.
Royalties.
That is what they're talking about, because you just can't do that. So what they're trying to do is say this is a massive pool of free music for you to use, essentially, or pay a subscription fee for you to use music from this pool, and then you get to create.
So
and drag
there is
and
like
drop.
a specific pool that you're, getting the music from. They're not just taking, artist music and making it available
that's right, and
for free.
that is where the subscription will come in. But again, incredibly, I mean, fantastic for the mum and dad users at home to be able to just drag something and chuck it in there. But I can tell you who's going to miss out on the royalties, and it's going to be the musicians again. It's a tricky thing to do, but
it's just a roundabout thing.
it absolutely is.
Well, on the bright side of things,
I'll tell you who's not missing out.
Nashville, $9.7 billion annually is what Nashville brings in because of the music industry here.
It's pretty, I mean, that sounds phenomenal, but you need to think about, I think, if we can explain a little bit more to the people who aren't in Nashville.
Yeah.
When they talk about music bringing that much money in, so it's more about if you were to be here and go down Broadway, it's honky tonks all over. So that would be a very broad statement in that the tourism it brings, because we are called the Music City, it would be a spill out to the restaurants and all those different things. So it's not
across the board.
Yeah, it's not specific to a recording studio, say for instance, or whatever it might be.
It's because of what the music of Nashville in general brings to
absolutely.
the table.
Everyone comes to Music City for that particular reason. And the mayor is obviously incredibly excited about it, Mayor Carl Dean. But it's interesting, he went on to say the music business is such important part of Nashville city identity and the economy that it's creating. So we know that already. We would actually like to make it a bit more of an entertainment hub, though. I mean, wonderful people like yourself, and it's not just the music industry. There's like actors and so many other things
everything.
that go
There's
on
so many
here.
creative outlets here.
That it would be kind of
crazy.
nice if we could sort of still be known as the music city, but perhaps the entertainment city of the South, I think, would be a lot better, so that we could start getting some films here and some film breaks and stuff like that.
Keep working on those incentives and making them better, and hopefully it won't be long.
Great start, though. Great start.
Yeah.
And fantastic for the city of Nashville. But,
Exactly. Well, that's all we have today.
We absolutely.
So make sure you check back again later for a new episode. Share with your friends. Check us out. Where can they find us?
A bunch of places. We tell you all the time. You already know where you can find us, but I'll tell you one more time. You can find us on Facebook, and you can find us on the beautiful Talkapolis app that you can get for your phones. But they can also find us as well via Twitter and also our Facebook pages. So please drop by. We know we're getting a lot of views and we're so thankful for it, but we would love for you guys to tell us what you would like to hear, and you can now make comments on those pages or on our Twitter accounts or wherever you'd like to do that. We're going to start running some fantastic competitions for you guys to get involved in, and we're really excited about that.
Awesome.
So we will see you guys next time.
Talkapolis, the social media TV network for your city.